Alright, so in this tutorial we are going to use a C# class to interact with our XML file. Okay, so that being said, I'm going to collapse this and create a new C# class. So let's go ahead and add a new class. Let's call this movie. So this class is going to have two properties. First one is int ID, and the second one is going to be string title. I'm going to add a constructor. This will take an ID and string title. Let's map properties to our variables that's coming inside the constructor. So ID equals ID and title equals title. Right, so our class is ready. Let's re-expand our first main class, program class, and I'm going to go right below our file path and create a new function. As usual, it's going to be a static void. Let's call this add movie. So now we are going to add data to our XML file, which is over here. We have two movies, and we'll use C# object to do that. So inside our function or method, I'm going to create an instance of the movie. So I'm going to call this movie equals new movie. And the ID is going to be 3, and the title is going to be Scarface. Okay. Next, I'm going to load the file into my xdoc variable as we did before. xdocument.load, and pass in our file path up here, XML file. All right, once we have the file loaded, I'm going to create a new X element. So var X element equals new X element, and the parent node is the movie. And inside our parent node, we are going to add new X attribute, which is going to be the ID. The name of the tag is ID, and the value is going to come from our new object, movie.id. Comma, add another child node, which is going to be the title node. And let's pass in the name of the title node. And the value is going to come from the movie.title. Okay, so basically we're mapping our properties to our elements or attributes. Okay, and next I'm going to call on to xdoc root to add the new X element that we just created. And finally, we'll save the file. So xdoc.save XML file. Okay, let's actually print out a message too, saying that new record added as a verification that the function ran all the way to the end. And now if we run this, we should be able to add a new record using a C# object. So the conversion is happening right here. We are taking the ID from the movie and the title from the movie and passing into the attribute and element respectively. So let's call our method up here, add movie, and run this. So let's take another peek here. So we have so far 2 movies here, and let's run this. All right, our message popped up. We'll get over there, and we got another pop-up saying that the XML file was changed. Say yes to all, and now we should have our new movie added to our file. All right, so this is all good, but what I want to do next is comment this out. Instead of changing inside the function every time, I want to pass in from here, from the main, and send the information in. So I want to take in a movie object through here and pass the information from the main. So let's create inside the parentheses, let's create a new movie object. And this time let's go with ID 4 and title of Step Brothers. And let's run this again. We should be able to add another movie. Now it's more flexible since we are passing the information from the main, and we don't have to change this method every time we want to add the movie. And we got some errors. Probably missing some brackets. Yep. All right. Let's run this again. Okay, we got the new movie added message and changes made it to XML file pop-up window. Let's accept and check it out. Okay, we have new movie added to our file. Perfect. All right, let's create our second method, and this method is going to read the XML file and convert to our C# movie object. Okay, let's static void. Let's call this get movies. Okay. So as usual, we're going to need this line of code, which loads the file. Okay, and next I'm going to create a variable to store the movies. I'm going to call the xdoc root.descendants, and the descendant we are looking for is the movie tag. So this is going to grab all the movie tags and store in this variable. So we should have 4 movies in there once we run this. Let me put a breakpoint here, and let's go ahead and call this method up here. And let's run this. All right, so we have check out the result view, and we have, like I said, 4 X elements containing 4 movies. Okay, so now we are going to convert this to our C# class. It's going to be a little opposite direction as we did down below here. So here we converted the C# object to X element, and up here we're going to do the opposite process. All right, so let's do that. So after the closing bracket, we're going to dot select. So we're selecting each X element, and we're going to pass in a lambda expression. So this X is going to represent X equals greater. That's our lambda expression. So this X will represent each X element as it loops through all of them. And then from here, we want to create a new instance of our movie object to store the information as a movie class. And then the value is going to come from our X object here. So X dot X attribute, well, X dot attribute for ID. The attribute we're looking for is ID. and we're going to grab the value. All right, so that's our first value, and the second, the title value is going to come from x dot element. The name of the element is title, and again we want to grab the value of that node and close this out. We've got an error. Let me actually break this line from here. Let's see. Cannot convert from string to int. So, okay. The value is coming in as a string, so we need to convert this to an int. So I'm going to say int.parse and put that inside parentheses. And that should take care of it. Now, if we run this again, we should have an enumerable of movie objects. As you can see here, let's run this. Let's go to the result view. Now you can see we have 4 movie objects instead of X elements. Okay. All right, so from here, we can look through our movies. So let's grab the for each loop. For each var, movie or move m, let's keep it short. In movies, we want to print out the ID and title. So let's use string interpolation, and let's pass in m dot id space m dot title. Okay, let's remove our breakpoint. I think we should be all right. Let's run this again, and we have all 4 movies printed out for us. Okay, so we have successfully read from our XML file, and we converted to C# objects and printed that out on our screen. All right, that's it for now. We'll continue in the next one, the remainder. All right, thank you. See you in the next one.